No, I guess it's gonna be time for continue with the game number 3, therefore. Oh, gonna be having that where? It's gonna be somewhere here, maybe. Yep, game 3. And Pizzita Mozzarella, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're gonna be having some fun with AOM here on the channel, and also we are streaming Age of Empires 2 and sometimes something else. Yeah, it's a quite nice nickname. We're just having pizza today, but certainly we'll be liking some proper Italian one. Proper Italian one would be a nice one, definitely. Okay, let's go into game number 3. So, okay, so the next map is going to be Ghost Lake. That is a very popular map here on the Vanilla Summer Tournament by AOL Destroyer. And it's kind of like a cool map, to be honest. It's actually become one of my favorites lately. I like to be watching that. It usually provides fairly fun games. It's an interesting kind of like a design. You don't have too many wood lines, so therefore it's also fairly open. A lot of raidings. Interesting open gold mines usually. So yeah, well, definitely one of the favorite ones with Alfheim, which I'm kind of liking because of the atmosphere and how it seems and how it is overall. Even though it's kind of like a bit of opposite of this map. Closed one, of course. Lower hunt, but not like Ghost Lake tends to be too much high hunt. Tends to be more like mid, something along those lines. But well, at any rate, you can see GrandMonster right now going back to ISIS. Apparently he's not very comfortable playing something else against Shenanigans, because he knows that Shenanigans, he is quite a good Egyptian player or vanilla. And he's kind of having, as far as I know, a bit of a reputation for being able to use all kinds of lame things that Egyptians actually offer. So that reputation definitely does precede him. But yeah, well, GrandMonster, he is effectively able to play any kind of god that he wants, but doesn't actually favor his chances with the other gods, I guess, like something like Poseidon or Odin, of course, as that is main god. And would be rather trying his hand at an effective civilization mirror. Nokam, this time it seems like that maybe this is gonna be a bit of a higher variant of the hand here. This is actually quite a bit sucky. This is terrible for GrandMonster. Not only is he attacked right now by Shenanigans, but also by the 2 bears, which is quite a bit terrible. And unfortunately, of course, far away at the start is not gonna be having too much of a high attack. But very nicely played. He's gonna be able to dodge the death, but he's gonna be having to do a bit of healing. And he certainly needs to be careful about not having the villages anywhere close by when he's gonna be luring the other animals. So he needs to be careful with that. But still, it resulted into quite a bit of idle time here overall. So it's already quite a nice beginning for Shenanigans. And getting slightly worried for GrandMonster here. It is an Eggy war, so theoretically there should be some chances, to overcome that. And of all the civilizations and gods and goddesses, Isis is the one that can be having quite a nasty and quick, fast heroic, no matter what. So I'm guessing that doesn't have to be another world, but really good play. And of course, on a high level, as we are here, then little things like these do tend to be having a long-lasting influence. Otherwise, it's a 2 gold spawn for the Ghost Lake. You can see the top one a bit exposed, but not too much. You can see it's already working on blocking it off. Probably should be connecting to the top to completely seal it, or seal it. Same as to the right side, maybe a bit of a semicircle also to continue protecting the gold mine a bit better. Once the charioteers are gonna be running around, as I'm slightly expecting that on this map maybe there's not gonna be too much of a classical fight. But who knows, I could be just completely wrong on that. Based on what I mentioned before, that classical fighting in the vanilla tournaments has been quite a bit of a thing lately. In the past about no more than a year already. The last few iterations. As the gold, at least on the left side, doesn't seem too terrible. You can see hunt to the bottom here, still available for Shenanigans. So even if this one will be compromised, the one to the left side should be also quite a bit playable. Quite nice thick wood line. Easy walling towards the straggler, towards the tower. And to the top. So, should be pretty much safe for him. It's gonna be the next relic in the middle, which is gonna be Fetters of Fenrir. That's gonna be not that useless. That is actually excellent relic, of course, against a set. And this was discovered by GrandMonster. Ah. Exactly the opposite. How unlucky. How unlucky. Only actually Shenanigans knows about that relic. Should be, by the way, trying to pick it up as soon as possible, to be honest. He's rather going for the abuse here, but nonetheless, that relic is fairly significant. And if it fell into the opponent's hands, then obviously any kind of earlier raidings are gonna be useless. Or maybe even in the later game, if there will be some rhinos actually birthed from the Pharaoh, or, I don't know, baboons, whatever along those lines. Rhinos are birthed from Pharaoh in the Mythical Age, or is it from Temple? I've been trying to remember what he can actually birth. Entirely certain. Ah, yeah, rhinos. Rhinos. It's right now having all the animals that you can actually build. Crocodiles are in the Heroic Age, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it reminds me of that game we cast about several years ago. It's gonna be like maybe 2 years back. Where somebody was going for some... Was it? Who was it actually? I don't know, somebody was going simply for a masterpiece with crocodiles from the Pharaoh, which is kind of fun. But we've also seen some baboon masterpieces, and yeah, well, sometimes players are having good fun with that. At any rate, you can see that the gold mine is not entirely too ideal for GrandMonster, at least this one in the front, which he was definitely correct to begin with, because right now he has the back one to fall back to. Always you should be starting with the more unsafe one, so that you do have a safer option still. But yeah, well, tower is in, which should be therefore resulting with maybe even a bit of wall in here to the left side, actually fairly easy time to keep this safe at this point. Don't think it's gonna be too extremely hard. Nonetheless, Piggy is gonna be coming, and you can see right now the hit points here. Let's switch into GrandMonster's point of view so that he can select them. Okay, he needs to be noticing that one that is almost dead. So that he could be having a bit easier kills. You can see there are of course a few villages, about 3 villages with lower hit points. Maybe could be actually healed overall. But nonetheless, let's switch into also Shenanigans to have some kind of idea how his game is going, as he's gonna be dropping armory. And doesn't seem like he wants to be spending too much time therefore in the classical. It's not having anything else dropped. You can see no barracks, no nothing. So that's gonna be just a few animals and Pharaoh with priests and having some fun. But this is actually something that exactly I do remember from the winter tournament that you were casting at the start of this year. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that was actually also Shenanigans who was playing that. Who was playing, I think he was with ISIS though that time, not with Set. And he was just spamming a huge amount of priests. And he was going for some really fast advance into Heroic Age. Ancestors cast also on the enemy base, and kind of like a ISIS rush effectively. ISIS Heroic Rush, which was very interesting to watch. I don't think it worked out in the end. But yeah, just kind of right now looking at the priest attack. Reminds me of that quite significantly. GrandMonster seems like to be delayed as far as the possible advance into the next age. Seems like that probably his opponent is gonna be there for a bit faster. Seems to be a bit faster. I mean, like, usually if you're gonna be having some extra animals to help you out from the set, then it does boost your advance time quite a bit. Quite definitely does. Now this is not entirely too much of a great fight for Shenanigans. I'm frankly not certain why he's even fighting here when he's obviously outnumbered. And quite significantly so. His Pharaoh is also almost dead. Which, at this point, either he's gonna be sending him therefore back to heal him, or can I like just sacrifice him and get the timer going for the 90 seconds. Because frankly, before he gets back, that's gonna be another, like, I don't know, 40 seconds. Then he's gonna be having to be healed for some time. So realistically, the difference wouldn't be too big. It'll be just maybe, I don't know, half a minute possibly. He'll be sacrificing, which is still something, sure. I'm just kind of thinking around. And yeah, of course it's gonna be quite a bit inefficient, but this one stop. And suddenly the healing is quite a bit quick, exactly as it should be. Standing on the ground, exactly right about now, getting the heal done. Yep, that's how it should be. No, nonetheless, we are apparently in a bit of a pause, waiting for the players to actually get into ages. So let's switch between them. Neft is almost there for Shen, and he has scouted pretty much all he needed. You can see, of course, that's the advantage for the set. Gonna be having quite nice hunt here. And apparently, just now finishing with the piggies seems to be quite nicely coinciding with moving forward to protect the TC. Bit of a thing could be for him that the next gold mine is actually all the way here to the left only. He doesn't have vision of anything else that to be actually on his side of the map. He's gonna be given a bit of a lifeline by the second starting gold mine for sure, but nonetheless, it is still something to be maybe concerned about, as we are seeing gold mine on the left and to the right. Especially kind of like maybe a bit more here to the right for GrandMonster. But shifting sense come in, he's gonna be shifting. Apparently Shenanigans trying to be cheeky. And this is actually a very good play, because I was just about to say that this gold mine on the left side is very well covered by the TC. So effectively, if GrandMonster actually went for that and got it, he'll be able to get quite a good income here. And I'm also understanding this move by Shenanigans, also because of his own need for the gold and seeing only the one to the left side. And therefore, with this TC, it's not fully protected, definitely not, but it is a step towards that direction. So I'm kind of liking how he overall is thinking, and that's a good play. Both screwing Shenanigans, or the GrandMonster, sorry, and also helping himself, Shenanigans there. Good play. Very nice and good play. So Hendux and Pickaxe. And it's gonna be the same between the players with defensive Migdol in the base. Frankly, that's a weird position. I don't understand why he didn't place it next to gold. When he knows that it's exposed, he was having problems with that already. So dropping it like at least here will be making much more sense, because it will be keeping it safe once he's gonna be needing it, which he certainly will. Nonetheless, didn't choose to do so. So there's gonna be some opening for some issues down the line. As obviously Shenanigans right now doesn't matter much. Slight blockage of the gold next to the TC. Yeah, well, doesn't probably matter whether you'll be dropping it somewhere nearby, as the TC is gonna be as good a protection as the Migdol. You can say it now the same range, so not any kind of problem. Just the difference being that TC of course doesn't have any kind of minimal range. It can be shooting at everything that is right next to it. Now in the meantime, you can see GrandMonster is gonna be at least ready with the top TC, but he was kind of forced into it, and he's gonna be also forced to somewhat play for this gold, which obviously at this point I'm thinking he should be already playing towards it, which means walling this part of the map. Maybe even just double wall here in the front as well, just to be making sure he does have a clear plan where to continue and with what to continue actually going forward. As currently we are just waiting for the players to get comfortable enough and good enough numbers so that the attack might commence. So the attack might commence. It's right now gonna be having funeral rites already done. It's gonna be of course interesting to see how it's gonna be the dynamic with the ancestors, of course. Because yet again, Shenanigans as a set doesn't have the eclipse, so therefore it's kind of like similar in as in the first game. Similar to the first game overall. Probably without upgrades, of course. Gonna be currently having Hendux and Pickaxe still. On the other hand, it's going to be Hendux and Pickaxe, also the same for Shenanigans. So they're actually really in fairly similar position. How's it looking with pop limits? Shenanigans is currently at 97 with economy quite a bit drained. So really ready for the Castle Age or Heroic Age attack. You can see GrandMonster is gonna be having the same pop limit, but also missing quite a few houses. Curiously enough. Actually we forgot, but I guess so. Oh, maybe actually shift click didn't work properly for him. Yeah, I think that the queuing didn't work out too well, and that's why he's out there. You can see right now that's definitely it's a panic reaction that something didn't work out. So yes, seems like he got messed up, or he messed up, not sure. That's gonna be potentially slowing him down. It shouldn't be too much of a huge problem. Obviously gonna be immediately getting quite a lot of pop limit in the elephant and the siege tower. So not like it's a big problem. It could have been possibly a problem if Shenanigans was attacking a bit earlier. Then it relevantly could have been an issue. But luckily for him, it really wasn't. GrandMonster right now casting the Ancestors and Eclipse. And where the hell is his whole army? Okay, there. That was a bit weird, that he was sending everything forward that way. And the army only later. No, well, at any rate, the thing is that so far Shenanigans is quite nicely seen. Of course, the Ancestors from the bottom will be able to block them pretty well. And this is effectively a bit of an all-in at this point from GrandMonster. With first casting the Ancestors and not potentially waiting for the opponent to cast his own. Because when this doesn't work out in the next 40 seconds, then obviously Shenanigans is gonna be having his own Ancestors and they will certainly solve the defense for him. Not so far. Doesn't seem to be going that extremely well. You can see barely getting through the first siege workshop. Maybe should be right now sending the siege tower a bit further. Gonna be using even villages with their melee attack against the siege towers. And yeah, you can see right now even a few mercenaries coming forward. So yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna be immediately turning into counter attack in a few seconds. Once the eclipse is gonna be gone. He does have some priest for sure. So maybe he's gonna be waiting until he's gonna be yet again popped. But yeah, he'll be having maybe a chance actually to go somewhere. But I guess they don't want to be risking it. He's just happy that his opponent is without Ancestors. And that's of course quite an important victory. Currently, let's see the losses. Shenanigans fully popped. GrandMonster is gonna be right about now losing and missing 30 pop. So currently, yeah, he'll be ripe for the taken for the opponent. I'm really thinking he should have maybe tried. Maybe not necessarily here through this position, which is a bit cluttered. And therefore hard to maneuver. But maybe just trying to go through the other side into the Migdol. Maybe it could have been some kind of idea. But didn't therefore opt to do so. With GrandMonster of course not advancing into Mythic, neither Shenanigans. As they're both gonna be trying to currently switch into something else in the game, which is going to be blocking of the gold. And remember what we talked about 5 minutes ago? Wall in here. And how great it will be for GrandMonster currently. It will be really great indeed. Nonetheless, let's switch into overall point of view again, so that we see both players. And now, as he's trying to drop the Migdol, he probably should be able to succeed, and he's going to be pushing all the arm in there. But that obviously at this point is going to be also resulting into immediate counter attack from the left, and he does have the advantage of the Ancestors Shenanigans, so he can quite effectively push on both sides. And is a interesting decision. At this point, basically, Chariots screw the Chemos, just get rid of all the priests. Yeah, it seems to be right about now trying to single them out. I think he should be maybe a bit more diligent at that. But nonetheless, this is gonna be quite a decent fight anyway. He is possibly gonna be slowing down the Migdol, but on the left, yeah, well, quite a few problems for GrandMonster, who is trying to solve it with at least the Wills currently and his own towers. But really good tactical play here by Shenanigans, while at least the Migdol will be finished, and still means that GrandMonster will be in the game and able to possibly keep the gold for himself and to himself. Yeah, of course, Chariot is right now camping right next to it, so that they can possibly block the gold here. Quite well played, still gonna be taking some effort from blue, from GrandMonster. No, and at this point it seems like GrandMonster is a bit desperate for gold. You can see he's not like fully desperate, he's having still 600. So he doesn't necessarily need to be pushing everything there immediately. But I guess he's already going there because he knows that's basically the only source of income that he currently has. So he needs to be getting as much gold as quickly as possible, just in case it's gonna be compromised even more. But yeah, well, problem is that his left side of his base has been completely cleaned up. There used to be a tower with houses here. There as well. Other there was a granary, I think, or mining camp. Yeah, mining camp, because there was the gold. There was the houses there. Although there were the houses there. But currently, certainly with even the next DCs right now ready for Shenanigans, he's gonna be at 4, starting with the trade. He is having things well in his hands and well under control currently. And it's gonna be really hard for GrandMonster to get out of this position. At least what is a bit of a good news is the fact that the Ancestors are gone. And they kind of like slow down this, but didn't stop it at least. So that's the important part, like in all the mining camps for the efficiency, since he's not empowering. At the same time, that's quite a strong claim that empowering here on the gold would be really helpful. Because, I mean, like, he doesn't have access to any of the gold mine on the map. There's nothing here to the right. Absolutely nothing. So therefore, oh, there's another gold mine to the top. And this looks like, seriously, as a ghost lake with only 4 gold mines, right? It is. There's nothing else elsewhere. There's the low gold actually Ghost Lake on the extras. No, I think GrandMonster is at this point screwed. He's gonna be having just a few gold left here, 4,000, which is effectively his lifeline currently, whereas his opponent, Shenanigans, is having access effectively to what he wants. He's having extra 2 gold mines that he can be still using, having already excellent trade going, which is also not gonna be too possible for GrandMonster because he doesn't have the map control, due to also not having pop limit because of the TCs. No, simply, the setup currently is not really favorable for him at all. Not at all. So heavy charioteers on each side currently for the players. You can see still Hendak's Plow and Shaft Mine. On the other side, it's gonna be the whole second line of the upgrades already. Well done, though. Gonna be having 45 TC even. Do we have Masons? Not yet. Not yet really for him. Yeah, I'm thinking at this point GrandMonster is pretty much like testing what's going on. But finally, I'm also liking that we do have the wall to the right side. Should have been there a whole lot earlier, but I guess better late than never. It's gonna be always nicer. So he's trying to be using even the hunt here, which is absolutely correct. As you always say, if you do have some kind of easy access to hunt, then you should be trying to go for it, because hunt is still faster than farming, even with the upgrades. Now, well, at any rate, Son of Osiris from GrandMonster is in. Shenanigans Mythical Age is not coming yet, and unless it was clicked just now and it's gonna be showing up in a moment, then it's not coming. So it doesn't seem like that it is. So he's gonna be stuck currently. No, frankly, that might be actually a good opportunity for GrandMonster. Son of Osiris is gonna be really tough to deal with. He's gonna be also quite quickly killing the siege towers and putting them out of commission due to his melee attack. And of course the catapultos. And it's gonna be another strong right about now reason why he should be having a bit of an edge. And it's also, as he's ices, he's gonna be having at least a bit of extra pop limit, being at 136. So that's also a bit of a bonus for him overall. No bonus. Simply he's not as disadvantaged as usually other civilizations are, but nonetheless he's still 2 versus 4 TCs. So it's not like it's going to be too easy to fight against, especially since he doesn't even have 45 TC, so he's effectively missing even more pop limit through not having that as opposed to opponent. No, well, at any rate, Migdol is gonna be unfortunately though looking like gone, because there are just way too many siege towers currently. So he's gonna be maybe switching to Shenanigans' point of view a bit, so that we can appreciate how close to Mythic he is going to be. Because currently, of course, the losses are mounting. He's gonna be about 20 pop limit below what he can be having. And you can see he really is investing quite heavily. Yeah, I think he's believing truly that he can simply overpower his opponent with the heroic units, and it legitimately is mostly about, as long as the Son of Osiris lives, GrandMonster is having some chance, but I'm thinking that as soon as he dies, then it might be actually it for him. No, at least right now the cavalry mercenaries are doing a good job in getting rid of the siege towers. That's gonna be one of the good parts here at this point for GrandMonster, as far as his defense goes. Yeah, definitely a few chariots just always moving forward and trying to get a range on the Son of Osiris, but he's down to only 63 hit points. So it definitely won't be too hard to potentially take down. Hans GrandMonster is not gonna be paying attention for a moment. But let's switch into the overall point of view, so that you can also right now appreciate how is it looking from both sides effectively. No, but if it weren't for the mercenaries, which Shenanigans can be buying because he does have access to all the gold in the world, then he probably would have been repelled quite a bit earlier already. No, not probably, quite certainly. Still you can see double copper. On the other side it's gonna be only copper shields for Shenanigans. Son of Osiris down to only 42 hit points. No. At this point I'm thinking he can just basically shot by shot if he's gonna be hitting, because that's the problem in, of course, Age of Mythology, because you do have the precision of units, which works that the first one is gonna be the most inaccurate, like 50%, first arrow, second to the same target 75, and the third one is going to be only the most accurate one and should be then hitting for 100%. So yeah, there are potentially gonna be some problems. You can see he's exactly trying to dodge possibly, but the chariots with their massive range are a problem, and he's down to only 19 hit points. So yep, pretty big problems right now. And seems like that soon he's going to be down, even though he's trying his best. And nice. Quite nice actually right now microing that. You can see that Shenanigans is trying to do the same. He's fully realizing just a few shots and he's gonna be there. But that's also gonna be maybe given some chance if GrandMonster is gonna be able to out micro that. And so far he seems to be doing it. Actually get some kind of edge in the front. No, well, but nonetheless mercenaries are still there for Shenanigans. And that's making it very difficult for GrandMonster to really keep the edge in the front. Even though he does have really nice military. Those damn mercenaries, that's a problem. And hey April Fools, Vim and everybody else who has joined for some vanilla recorded games here. From El Destroyer Summer Tournament. And so far we're having quite an interesting, effectively eggy battle going forward. So we'll see what's gonna be even in the next games. Because we're certainly gonna be seeing game number 4. Who knows, maybe there's gonna be even the 5th one. Because so far the match is really quite damn tight here. Okay, so Son of Osiris is gonna be gone. And that should be the breakthrough for Shenanigans in my opinion. No. At this point, looking what GrandMonster is doing, I'm thinking he's at the same level. Because you can see he's run out of gold. He's right about now run out of the food here. So I'm slightly thinking that, yeah, this is a bit of a last Hail Mary. No, last Hail Mary, simply Hail Mary. These are pretty much the same things there. Because no need to kind of like make it even stronger. And yeah, it really feels to me that at this point Shenanigans is gonna be able to right about now keep it under control. Because even though the Migdol might be lost, still taking out TC is gonna be a whole different story, especially since Shenanigans is effectively having infinite gold to produce the mercenaries, whereas that is certainly not gonna be the case for GrandMonster, who is currently out of gold, possibly can be selling maybe some wood here, as the only thing he can be doing, but Shenanigans on the other hand, while he is still in Heroic, not gonna be advancing to Mythic, you can see the gold, how much he has there, and cannot build another mercenary cavalry, and another mercenary, yep, that is what he's right now fully relying upon, and that's why that is gonna be right now the resign, and therefore Shenanigans really will be taking another odd game here, 1 and 3, and will be leading in the match 2-1, so congratulations, and going to be only 1 game away from advancing into the 3rd round, which is already something like a semi-final of the winner's bracket. So good job. So far the Eggy Mirrors not going too badly for him. Not going too bad. Okay, so let's have a look into post-game.
Into you.
Can see it now, probably not too many upgrades. Bronze shields on the other army champion charioteers and still double copper. Actually fairly similar level on there. But yeah, the economical upgrades will be lower for GrandMonster, you can see, and Daxplo and Shaft.
You need to.
Whereas for Shenanigans, it's gonna be almost everything, missing just flat control. Otherwise, he does have the others at full. So that's gonna be right about now. Shenanigans with... No, in the end, quite a good lead, of course. Since GrandMonster was kinda locked in his base and forced into all kinds of not too effective battles for him. Not unfortunately letting him reach out of his base. As you can see here, on the resources Shenanigans is gonna be higher by about 3 and 8. But like 11,000 resources. Out of that, 5,000 is going to be trade, which GrandMonster fortunately never started. Kinda wonder if maybe he at least tried. Like he could have been maybe starting a trade from maybe the corner here all the way into the base TC. It wouldn't be really effective that much. And maybe that's also why he didn't even engage in that, because he simply didn't have even pop limit. But yeah, the shifting sense into this TC, excellent move. Blocking GrandMonster from TC, from gold, and getting himself a lot of gold as well in the process. And overall map control for a very nice trade on the left. That was certainly the game-winning move for the Indian. You can see it now, Shenanigans 190. Quite a bit of a military count. Probably wouldn't be surprised if his most common unit is going to be mercenary, frankly. Still managed to get more charioteers, but still. The mercenaries are gonna be very close by there. Very close by indeed. You can see on the civilians, of course. Up until here it was fine, but then more TCs came up. Exactly third and fourth one at the same time, and the trade even started and ended at 113. With unfortunately GrandMonster never even been at 80. I mean, like, he got into Mythic. He was then, I guess, happy to be having a bit more population limit on the army, I imagine. So that you can slightly counter the opponent as far as the extra TCs. And you can see right now here fairly similar numbers, but Shenanigans simply a bit higher in the crucial moments. And once Side has died, that obviously is where it unfortunately also ended for GrandMonster. You know, interesting sharp drop here near the end. But like a minute ago. But yeah, well, that was only just a symptom of the game and lacking gold. GG.